Okay, Dena, let's hear a little bit more about your work and.
Well, my work's kind of is a little bit different.
Well, and the other thing sorry. So when I put this show together with Virginia, who works with me here, we went to Claremont and his work popped out of all the work we saw there. And then she couldn't make it, but I went to Otis and I walked around and I said, "Oh God, I really like this." I took a couple of photos. Yeah, and I thought she was like 20 something, and she's a returning student. But I thought that was such a great thing about like just going. I didn't meet any of the artists. Usually, when you go do the grad visits, you meet them, but this time I didn't meet any of them, and it was really a nice serendipitous thing. And then Virginia told me, "Oh God, she was born so and so," and I thought, oh, okay, well, I love the work, so what does it really matter? Right. But it kind of threw the concept of the show a little bit out of kilter, but ultimately, when you pick work for a show and artist, it's usually more of a gut instinct than the resume or whatever, and ultimately that, I think, becomes the best show anyway. So even though the show had some parameters, I thought it was very free, and I just wanted to say that before.
Thank you. I think it was actually a really serendipitous situation because my mentor that Carl didn't know is David Lloyd for the last 5 years. And besides from David, I went to Otis and met Cranston, who's Cal Arts, is my mentor, Corey Newkirk, Chicago, Jane Moon, Cal Arts, Curtis Cal Arts, and Benjamin Weissman, I think from CMAY. Those are my main mentors, and especially Meg as a painter. And it's a small world because I feel like David, who's been my mentor, I feel like I came from a Cal Arts. Is, oh my gosh, is my mentor. I feel like I have a really Cal Arts attitude, which really, it's funny because it kind of, even though I didn't go to Cal Arts, Otis is this incredibly conceptual place. It's really open. It's called, I feel it's like the soft hug of the art world. And I went back there older and after having kids, and I just like going from David to then Otis and just being able to kind of explore this language that had been inside of me for a really long time. And what I got out of it was really an understanding of where my art was going. And I think of my art as kind of a feminist intervention into the male-dominated MX, post-minimalism, like conversations about constantly the male artist. And I think my work is coming in there with a lot of the same energy of a male artist, with the gesture, the grapple, moving the paint, the flowing the paint, and bringing in, different materials. But I think I kind of go even further. I'm trying to take it past the idea of like the average bravado painting into this, almost go to the point of extreme, to almost deconstruct it and then rebuild it back with this intensity on floral motifs, on domesticity. My work is a lot about domesticity, about raising a home. I was a rabbi's wife. And my 10 years were spent making fabulous dinner tables and cooking the best mastival soup you've ever had. And my napkins never matched. See why. And so this domesticity is the backbone of my work. So I have all of these pieces in my head, are formulaic. I draw these abstracted still abstracted landscapes. But then I don't stop when I abstract them. I take them, I obfuscate them. I want to completely take it away and then re-ornate it with more ornate. And I feel that it's even coming off the walls now. My newest work has come off the wall. There's a monolith and it's half of a couch cushion on the back. So that I'm really playing with domesticity and like gestural painting. And then I've also included my ceramics in it because I like the idea of keeping to build and make more and more depth and more texture and more material. So that's kind of where my process is going, and I'm really like in the process. I graduate in December, and constantly things.
To both of you.
Yeah, us too. He's me.
So you said that the leaning piece is part of half of a couch cushion?
Well, I have half of them are leaners, which are a spoof on John McCracken and his finish of the slick. I
Right,
don't want to say the word,
right.
Minimal.
Plank,
plain. And so mine is a very feminized plank.
but it's irregular.
It is irregular.
The new ones, I've seen the new ones,
Even more
they're
regular.
freestanding and they look like that on one side and they look like a upholstered on the other, like
Oh.
a couch. But
Stuff.
they're super weird. I mean, they're really interesting.
Because it's.
They just stand out in the room.
These are my leaners. I have leaners, monoliths, and I even have some that are 16 inches off the floor that are paintings. So they're an exploration into the boundaries between abstract expressionism, post-minimalism, feminism, and domesticity.
And first, you
And furniture almost, yeah, furniture, yes.
just can't sit on it, you'll get a butt full of.
Don't sit on it.
It's an ironing board, right?
Uh-huh.
But the irregularity of that is really subtle, which I think is really the strength of it. It's like, oh, it's an ironing board. No, it's not. It's a blank, really a surfboard, no.
No, yeah. And it has
And
flowers
that
on it.
opens it all up,
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
And then it's got all this stuff on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, like take painting and just see where it can take you. because that goes.
How do you ship it?
Okay, that's really fun, guys, because it's just had a solo show at Shrine, New York, and they got 10 pieces. It is shipped. We just pack it and we put it a long time in a
You fucking drive it.
truck, or I've been known to, if it's a show, I've driven them. And then they ship them, the stores, the galleries are able to ship them somehow. They know how they float them and they know what to do. They can get more places.
Things that cost too much money for us.
Well, I guess so, but yeah. But I don't know, I've been getting them myself. Like I get orders on Instagram and I've been able to put them in enough to, maybe not a huge one to Denmark, but I can definitely get my 11 by 14s and my 20 by 25s and, those things. These are a little bit harder.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, hopefully people like them in LA. Dana? Yeah,
What kind of materials?
all oil paints, only oil paints. So I'm really obsessed about oil paint, and it's like, it's very important to me, the sensory aspect of the oils and how they maintain the smell and the way they move and they stay wet and how I can layer and layer for years and cut them back. So I use oil paints, cold wax, and ceramics. Those are my, and sometimes spray. Cold wax, which I put in the paint to mix it a little thicker. So that gives it a matte color, matte, and then I use regular oil paint with shiny, and then I use ceramics and spray paint, and I'd occasionally glitter.
Do you find that some of the paints work better, some of the different brands of paint?
I've learned a lot about paint and making because I know a lot about paint, and I feel like I've even found really good paints for cheap. I found better ways to do it, and now I'm actually thinking of making my own paint with powders because I can make more. But I do find a lot of deals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's expensive too, with good paint, foil paint really adds up.
Especially you have to use a lot of it.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of other things, but I have a lot of oil paint.
I always tell her, try building up with, remember I tell you try building up with
Tells me every
acrylic?
week, and I can't.
And she was like, screw that,
I
oil
can't-
paint all the way.
I can't pull it back. Once you have acrylic, it's gonna dry and I can't carve it back out and you start.
Yeah.
A lot of these take between 3 and 6 months. With
Do
the
you
layers.
find when it dries, does it change a bit or?
Yeah, I have learned a lot about when they dry now, I know I put in a gloss on it and I have a matte. And so once they are in the process of drying is when I start to varnish them. And varnish goes pretty quick, so.
Yeah, I had an artist I showed some years back, and he painted quite thick, almost as thick as these. And he had one brand of paint that just worked perfect for him, and forgot what it was,
Oh,
but
wow.
but it wouldn't work with other brands. It just was this one brand. I think was from Italy or Switzerland or something, and it had a real nice
Body.
body to it. At the same time, good color, and so
I use Charvin for people who want to know. Jerry's Artorama, $18.99, $150.
How was the inspiration for that painting?
So that's, I paint, when I get into painting, I do a lot of drawings, like I said, of still lifes and landscapes and figure painter. I'm trained as a figure landscape still life painter. And so a lot of times they're about landscapes and still lives and forms that I've seen. So I oftentimes will have an idea in my head of like, a landscape was on my head the whole time, and like flowers and gardening and the earth. So sometimes whatever's on my head will come through. Like if I'm perseverating on like flowers for the month and I'm looking at all these landscapes and then I stand in front of there's a good chance you're gonna get some sort of landscape and layers in there. Or if I've been looking at dinnerware, might get a vase in my pot. So I think I'm processing what I see and thinking about, and really what's capturing my opinion what's capturing my ideas about painting and form at the moment, so.
So you're combining landscape and a little bit of
I don't
still
think,
life in there, or is
I
it?
think it's all together. I think they're all just part of it. There's a wheel, there's a landscape, there's flowers, there definitely is some sort of like inner earthwork. But I don't define it that much. It's almost like these are the stored images after like, that keep coming back up as core images that I want to work with. And then a lot of it is really letting go. These are to let go for the first, week and just keep exploring without really preconceived ideas is where I try to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where it comes from, me just standing there.
Yeah.
And like responding to the paint, what I put on. But there's always in the back of my head the things I'm thinking about.
Mm-hmm. Great one, great painting. I really love that painting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
it's for sale.
My artist husband must have loved it.
Yeah, it's not far than that.
How do you know when they're finished?
Oh, they feel finished. That's it. Because I will call David, and how many times have I sent you a picture, and until I feel it, Dave will be like, it's good, or it's not good.
All I've done with Dena is encourage her to just keep going. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's great. Just keep doing what you're doing.
And then I figure
Keep doing
out
what
it
you're doing.
feels complete in my body. It literally feels done. And until it feels done, I'm like, can't let it go. But the minute it feels done, I can like somehow walk away. Not a little obsessed, you can tell.